John F. Kennedy said, "I look forward to a great future for America, a future in which our country will match its military strength with our moral restraint, its wealth with our wisdom, its power with our purpose." Welcome judges, fellow contestants, parents, and guests. My name is Sophia Bogard, and I'm honored to share some thoughts on this noble quote with you today. Kennedy's quote envisions a great future based on a balance, including a balance in military strength. Military strength is having the selflessness, courage, determination, and capability to fight for and protect our country. Every day, tens of thousands of men and women train and work hard to ensure that we have military strength when we need it most. I believe Kennedy meant that true military strength is strength that is balanced by moral restraint, knowing when to hold back and when to act to best protect our own interests and those of humankind. Kennedy's quote also addresses the balance of wealth and wisdom. Our country's wealth is mostly measured by economics, but wealth also comes in many other forms, such as living in a country where we are taught and encouraged to respect others. We are all wealthy when we love and respect each other and love this great country. Even in its moments of imperfection, ignorance, and intolerance, America continually strives for liberty and justice for all, and to truly become a land of the free and home of the brave. Kennedy's vision of a great future also depends on the balance of power and purpose. America's power is reflected everywhere we look, from our tremendous military capabilities, to our towering cities, to our world-leading companies, to our high standards of living. These things remind us daily of our country's greatness. But can we truly be great without a meaningful purpose? That purpose is best summarized in the introduction to our U.S. Constitution, which explains that America was formed to be a more perfect union, establishing justice, ensuring peace, providing for our common defense, promoting general welfare, and securing liberty for current and future generations. I agree with President Kennedy's vision that America can and will have a great future if each and every one of us, individually and institutionally, continue to balance America's ever-growing power and wealth with the wisdom and purpose that gave rise to our blessed country. Thank you.
Hello fellow judges, audience, and friends. My name is Ava Helmrich, and it is an honor for me to be sharing my speech with you today. I will kick things off by telling you the topic I chose. My topic is to define the term patriot. A patriot is defined as a person who vigorously supports their country and is prepared to defend against enemies or detractors. Does that sound like the kind of person you want to be? I know I would hope to have the courage to be that type of person. And you don't have to be in the military to be a patriot. Although the military is filled with many patriotic heroes, and a true patriot would give them a big thanks for their service and sacrifice. The men and women who fight to keep our country safe are, in my eyes, the most supreme example of true patriots. Abraham Lincoln said, "I like to see a man proud of the place in which he lives. I like to see a man live so that his place would be proud of him." Wow, did you hear that? It sounds to me like patriotism is the key that opens the door into a great country, a country that everybody wants to know, be a part of, and be proud of. It also means that patriots hold great virtues. So, what are some virtues that a patriot holds? One is respect. They show great respect to our country by honoring its flag, its traditions, and its people. Another is giving. Think about it. Have you ever met someone more giving than a patriot? They're willing to give up everything, even if it means giving it all. In addition to these admirable traits, a patriot is also compassionate. They are strong, yet kind-hearted, and always willing to lend a hand. Lastly, patriots display actions that affect our country greatly in the best ways possible. Whether it's fighting to keep us safe or taking pride in our communities, patriots make our country a better place. So, what are some ways you can show patriotism? One is respect. One is voting. Voting can help your voice to be heard and uphold important laws or even improve things big time. You can also be kind. Being kind can be as easy as sharing a smile. Patriotism is a beautiful thing, and we should all do our part to keep it going. In conclusion, after all you have heard today, I hope you choose to be a patriot. It truly will affect the world around you and could be that very key that will open that door into a great country everyone has been looking for. The United States of America. We are that great country. Let's get out there and show it. Thank you.
Good morning, fellow patriots. My name is Kenzie Burris. Do you ever wonder why we place our hand over our heart and say the Pledge of Allegiance at school? Why is the pledge so important? In 1892, Francis Bellamy wrote the pledge to celebrate the 400th anniversary of Christopher Columbus's arrival in the New World. He wrote it for school children to stay together to show pride and respect for their united country. I believe that it's important for us to continue to stand and say the pledge, to honor veterans, the fact that we have an elected president, and that we come together as Americans. To start, you recite the Pledge of Allegiance to show appreciation to all the brave men and women who protect and fight for our country. First, these courageous servicemen and women perform their jobs daily, knowing they may be putting their lives on the line and making a huge sacrifice by leaving their families. As of today, there are roughly 1.4 million people serving in the U.S. military, with more than 450,000 of them stationed overseas. Sadly, in 2017, 32 servicemen died. Therefore, it is important to say the pledge to honor all the brave men and women who risk their lives every day. Additionally, we say the pledge to honor that we are our democracy and get to elect a president. To begin, registered Americans have the privilege of voting for a president every 4 years. According to thought.co.com, more than 57.6 million people voted in the 2016 presidential election. We should be grateful that we get to voice our opinion on who our leader is. Furthermore, because we elected a president, we don't have to live under a king or emperor's rule. We should be thankful when saying the Pledge of Allegiance that we have an elected president and that we do not have to live under a dictator. Likewise, we say the pledge and honor the flag to show we are united as Americans. Although we have certain freedoms that make us different, we should show our loyalty as Americans and stand for the pledge. For example, as Americans, we have the freedom of religion, but no matter what religion we follow, we should still call ourselves Americans. Fortunately, in times of disaster, Americans work together to help each other out. When Hurricane Harvey hit the Gulf Coast in August 2017, many people's lives were affected and many Americans came to aid those in need. Clearly, it is crucial that we continue to stand and say the pledge as we are bonded Americans. To sum it up, it is fundamental that we say the Pledge of Allegiance to honor veterans, the fact that we have an elected president, and that we come together as Americans. So stand up, place your hand over your heart, and recite the Pledge of Allegiance with honor. Thank you.
Hello, fellow contestants, judges, and guests. Our country owes a lot of credit to ancient Greece. They've given us democracy, great architecture, and even the Olympic Games. I believe they've made the most patriotic contributions to our society. People may say that Rome has made more contributions to America than Greece has. However, in my opinion, the most Rome has contributed is fast food and toilets, to name a few. Democracy. It's one of the things that makes our country so unique. According to ancient.eu, the city of Athens established the first known democracy. This was a direct democracy where people voted on issues directly rather than voting for a person to fix these issues. Mark Cartwright states, any citizen could speak to the assembly and vote on decisions by simply holding up their hands. The majority won the day. This is very similar to how American democracy works today. We have the right to contact our leaders and tell them what we think. We have the right to vote for whatever we believe in, and we have the ancient Greeks to thank. Another thing the Greeks have given us is beautiful architecture.
Just take a look at the Capitol building, the White House, and even the Lincoln Memorial, which was modeled after the Parthenon. These historical, patriotic buildings are all Greek influenced. An English bishop, Stephen Gardiner, once said, "The center of Western culture is Greece, and we have never lost our ties with the architectural concepts of the ancient civilization." Again, the Greeks had given us a gift that could only come from such a special civilization. The Olympics aren't just about gold medals and competitions, you know. They're about fun, hard work, cultural exchange, and let's face it, Zeus. Zeus is a god in Greek mythology, and as the ruler of all gods, he pretty much had it all. The Olympics were dedicated to him. The games have evolved, though. Now, in America, we have Olympic heroes such as Michael Phelps, Simone Biles, Serena Williams, and Carrie Walsh Jennings. Carrie says, "Growing up, Michael Jordan was my Olympic hero." I interpret this as that Olympians are patriotic inspirations for the generation after them. Michael Jordan inspired Carrie Walsh Jennings, who inspires kids, including myself, to do amazing things. The Olympians, in a way, are patriots because they defend their country by representing us in the best way possible. Only Greece can turn a simple sporting event into something so representative of our country. Clearly, ancient Greece has made many major contributions to modern America. Democracy, architecture, and the Olympics are only a few. I believe that without the Greeks, America would not be what it is today. I encourage you to give more credit to ancient Greece. They definitely deserve it. Thank you.
And today I will be stating a claim and trying to persuade you on the following question. Do you believe an 11-year-old kid is capable of changing the world? Yes, I do. Why, you ask? Because we already have. How? Well, I'm about to explain. The first reason why I believe this is because many kids have done some amazing things in our world. Like this boy. He made a drastic change in our world. If it weren't for him, to this day, Writing for the Blind would have never been produced. This boy is Louis Braille. Louis created blind in 1824 when he was about 11 or 12 years old. He lost his eyesight at 3. Because of that, he created Braille. He is one amazing kid. This girl is incredible. Her name is Alex Scott. Alex created a lemonade stand, and not just any cool lemonade stand. This lemonade stand was made to raise money for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. She is one incredible girl. This boy is not only amazing, he is not only incredible, he is a gift. This boy is Ryan Hilje. Ryan wanted to build a well in Africa so kids there could have water. He wanted to do this by saving up his allowance, until he noticed it wouldn't just cost him $70. Because of this, he started public speaking and starting fundraisers so he could raise money for the well. Eventually, he raised enough money. The second reason why I agree to this term is because kids have chosen kindness to help our world. Like this boy. He wanted to build a bench at his school, and not just any ordinary bench, a friendship bench. This friendship bench was used when kids were at recess and they had no one to play with. They could simply sit on the bench and another student would sit on the bench with them. And there you go. You have a new friend. The third reason why I agree to this statement is because we are the future of this country. And to go along with that, we have tons of thoughts and huge imaginations. And when we put our heads together, we make this huge ball of ideas. And we make decisions 5 adults put together couldn't make. The final reason why I believe an 11-year-old can change the world is because we have no limits. If we start something, we are determined to finish it. We don't spend all our time worrying about the risk. We just go for it. And if we run into a problem, we work together to fix it. Everything I have said in this speech is why I believe an 11-year-old kid is capable of changing the world. The definition of patriotism is to be loyal and loving to your country. Everything in this speech defines patriotism. Now, I have a few questions for you. Do you believe an 11-year-old kid is capable of changing the world? If so, how? If not, why? And lastly, whether you're 11 years old or not, how can you change the world? Thank you.
The essence of America, that which really unites us, is not ethnicity, nor nationality, nor religion. It is an idea, and what an idea it is. that you can come from humble circumstances and do great things. That quote was written by Condoleezza Rice. She wrote of education, race, and liberty. And although it may not seem like it, this quote applies to our everyday lives. We live in a world where people judge on race, religion, and even down to the people we talk to. And adults, kids even, say they want to stop it, yet on a Saturday night, what are they doing, you ask? Simply sitting on their couch watching a show. But that's exactly the opposite of what I'm here to cover. I'm here to cover the fact that we have great people built for presidency and liberty, but instead of listening, we tell them that the mask of color their personality hides behind is not allowed. We decide to tell them that we will make fun of them and hurt them, and we spend every day hurting and hiding. And little do we know, those people in those circumstances, that girl in the back of the class and that man with ripped clothes and broken bags, will become something. We live in a world where people make fun of others, and we will regret the days that we spent in anger making racist jokes and calling them names like poor, stupid, and lame. We will regret the day that we made fun of them because someday they will become something. You, every one of you in this room has a chance. This generation can fix the last. I want everyone to tell someone how much they mean to somebody. Let's spread the glory. Let's break down those walls of words and create civilization. Let's be true, pure, you. From this day forward, we will be humble and honest, and maybe, just maybe, color and religion won't matter. And someday we can become heroes, astronauts, teachers. We can become something. My name is Camden R. Miller. I am 11 years old. I am a daughter. I am a sister. I am something. Thank you.
Why should we have a Pledge of Allegiance? Why is the Pledge of Allegiance important? Why does it matter? Some of you may think like Roy Speckart. Speckart stopped saying the Pledge of Allegiance because it discriminates against atheists and others who are good without God. Hello parents, judges, and fellow contestants. My name is Claire Avery, and I think that we should keep saying the Pledge of Allegiance because it's part of our nation's history. It's a patriotic vow to our nation, and the Pledge of Allegiance unifies our nation. I pledge allegiance to my flag and to my republic for which they stand, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. According to U.S. history, these were the first words written by Francis Bellamy for the Youth Companion in 1892. The pledge was modified in 1923 when the flag of the United States was added. And in 1954, President Eisenhower encouraged Congress to put the words "under God" into the pledge. When these words were added, there was tension, but it passed. And here we are again, repeating history, debating whether we should keep the Pledge of Allegiance or not. However, if we stay true to our history, our country was built on our beliefs as Christians, and under God confirms that. Also, the Pledge of Allegiance is a patriotic vow to our nation. According to a PowerPoint by teaching primary sources, to pledge allegiance to something means to promise to be loyal or true. And the flag is a symbol of our nation. So when we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we are promising to stay strong, to have courage and stay strong for America. And finally, the Pledge of Allegiance unifies our nation. Francis Bellamy wrote the Pledge of Allegiance for children across America to feel patriotic about their nation. The Pledge of Allegiance unifies our nation every day when children say it in schools to remember fallen soldiers, fighting soldiers, firefighters, police officers, and everyone who helps our nation, physically and emotionally and from the inside out. So, let's continue what Francis Bellamy wanted for the Pledge of Allegiance. Let us not be ashamed of our country. Let us say the Pledge of Allegiance as a nation, to feel patriotic about our nation. I believe in our nation, a great, powerful, and wonderful nation. and I think that we should keep saying the Pledge of Allegiance because it's part of our nation's history. It's a patriotic vow to our nation, and the Pledge of Allegiance unifies our nation. My name is Claire Avery, and I believe in us. Us, Americans, and I believe that we should keep saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hello, judges, guests, and fellow students. My name is Allie Black. Few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events, and in the total of all those acts will be written the history of this generation. Those words were once spoken by Robert Kennedy. To me, this quote means even if we aren't famous or powerful enough to change history on our own, each small thing we do counts. We may not think that as just one person we can accomplish very much, but we can. If each person believes they can make a small difference, then everything our society does as a whole will add up and become our generation's history. We can do this by showing kindness and honesty, always doing our best, and being creative and showing ingenuity. These things are patriotic because they make our country stronger and a better place to live. Being kind can help the whole country be a nicer, more wonderful place. If you are kind, it can spread like wildfire, meaning if you are kind to someone, they may be kind to another, and so on. I believe there is not enough kindness in this world. Like Mr. Kennedy says, I can work to change a small portion by showing kindness to those around me. Hopefully, this will touch the lives of others and inspire them to be kind themselves. Politicians have a reputation of not always being honest. It's important to have trustworthy leaders and officials running our country. We should vote for and support those that tell the truth. Being honest builds trust among people. We can set an example by being honest to our fellow men in all our dealings. A nation of kind, honest people brings patriotic honor to our country. When you do your best, you inspire others to do their best. This sets a standard of excellence. A nation is only as strong as its people, and if all those people do their best every day, there is no limit to what we can accomplish. When I'm doing my best, I feel good about contributing to my country's greatness. Creativity and ingenuity are the engines that propel the country forward. Creative people come up with new ideas. Without fresh ideas, the country becomes stagnant and moves backwards. Creative people are not afraid to stand alone from the crowd. America was founded by creative patriots who are not afraid of the new idea of freedom. Our country was born of creativity, has grown strong from creativity, and will thrive in the future because of creativity. Being kind and honest, doing my best, and being creative are very important attributes that I can strive to do, have, and be. If we all work towards these things, this will make the history of my generation a great one. Everything we do counts. We can make a difference, if but a small one. I believe this is what Robert Kennedy was telling us. If we do all these things, we can change history.
The ballot is stronger than bullet. Abraham Lincoln had addressed this quote during a speech in May 19th, 1856. Good morning, judges, fellow contestants, and guests. I'm Rick Mascanana, a sixth grader from Park Ridge Elementary. My young heart was captured by this quote one night while discussing it with my family. Two words had struck me. First, the bullet, which for me resembles death. The other, the ballot, which resembles life. Ladies and gentlemen, our present society is being influenced by limiting factors like power, wealth, fame, and greed. These limiting factors also produces abuse, fear, tyranny, and monocracy. It constricts the citizens' freedom of making choices. These are the bullets in our society that kills our rights and our privileges as citizens of America. I want you all to look at me and listen to what I have to say. You and I have the power to build and reshape our country. Together, we can exercise our collective right to form a government that is by the people and for the people. By the stroke of our pens, America will be run by leaders with pure intentions of serving their countrymen. Yes, voting indeed is a powerful weapon that can create a stronger government, a unified people, and a greater nation. This will be a rebirth for America, a picture of a new life where citizens and its leaders are working together for the common good. A country where the poor and the unemployed are getting decent jobs and having a place to go home. The wounded and disabled veterans receive financial help from the government. All American children receiving free and higher education. This is the America we all can build if we vote wisely. It will be a realized vision of true democracy. Remember this. My generation's future depends on your vote. Go out and vote!
Hating someone because of their race is wrong. And it doesn't matter which color does the hating. It is just plain wrong. A quote of Muhammad Ali. Welcome parents, judges, and fellow contestants. My name is Jaylee Miller. See, Muhammad Ali said these words in a way that all lives matter, no matter what you look like, no matter the way you speak, and especially no matter your race. Muhammad Ali was an amazing boxer, influenced, and outstanding patriot. How, you may ask? Well, Muhammad Ali fought against racism. Racism is important in our country because it is tearing it apart piece by piece. So as patriots, we cannot let this slide. If you think about it, some people could be racist without even knowing it. And it's probably because of the fact they don't know what racism is. Well, what is racism? Racism is a form of discrimination or antagonism against someone of a different race because of the belief that one's race is better. The problem with this is no one even cares. Everyone just walks down the street acting like this isn't a problem in our society when it really is. Our country needs to know what racism is so we can fight against it as a nation. Second of all, racism was absolutely terrible in the 1900s, especially when segregation started. Segregation was a time when blacks and whites were separated, whether it was on the bus, whether it was out to eat, even when it came to drinking fountains. Blacks and whites were separated, but there were people like Rosa Parks who stood up for what she believed in, which was equality for everyone. Or Jackie Robinson. He was the first African American to play in the MLB. He changed the sport forever. Lastly, Muhammad Ali. He set an example of racial pride for African Americans. See, all of these people made a difference in our country. If I were them, I would have done the same exact thing. What would you have done? Still today as patriots, we ignore the fact that there is a problem this big in our society known as racism. Racism isn't something we should just be learning, much less talking about in our history classes. In fact, we should be coming up with new and better ways to fix this problem, such as bringing it up to the government, stating people shouldn't be put in categories of good or bad based on their race. We should be using our social skills that God gave us, learning and talking with people. Then, maybe we can judge them on their personality. In conclusion, racism needs to stop. No one should be judged on the color. Everyone matters. You matter, I matter, we all matter. As patriots, we need to stop racism. Hating someone because of their race is wrong. And it doesn't matter which color does the hating. It is just plain wrong. Muhammad Ali once said, no one should be judged on their color. All lives matter, no matter what you look like, no matter the way you speak, and especially no matter your race. So I ask you, what will you do to change racism in our country? Thank you.
What defines a patriot? A patriot is someone who uses virtues or actions of importance and devotion to their country. This means these people will use these actions with their own free will because of that very same devotion. Throughout the years, there are many groups of patriots in the world, but the one group that stands out most are citizens. Citizens are more than people. They are nation's leading patriots. Welcome, parents, guests, fellow contestants, and judges. My name is Alicia Bacon, and thank you for coming today. Serving. If you serve in one of the branches of military, you are an example of a patriot. If you serve, you have many responsibilities. Your main responsibilities are to keep safe and protect your fellow citizens and your own country from any harm, even if it means risking your own life in the process. Even if you don't have reassurance on the outcome of your job or the everyday risks you take, you still protect. You still serve your country. On the other hand, many other fellow citizens of the United States of America have found other ways to be patriotic. It can be as easy as helping their school, cities, states, and altogether their country. They have found methods as easy as helping with money problems and raising the money. Schools have found ways as helping with fundraisers and special occasions as extra money providers for their students and their educational success. Taxes can also mean huge improvements for the cities and states for extra money. Contributing to society is another way to be patriotic. If everyone can donate to someone, whether they're poor, homeless, or maybe in the hospital, it can always make their day for someone to give something more for someone who has so much less. Contributing to your country is another way to make the world a better place. Loyalty. Loyalty is a key ingredient to being patriotic. Let's say a war broke out between two countries, one being yours and the other being your enemies. If you wanted to stay loyal, would you A, side with your enemies, or B, stand alongside your country? If you wanted to stay loyal, you would B, stand alongside your country in your time of need. Another loyalty is to abide by the laws. If everyone abides by the laws, this means no one should go around committing crimes. This means loyalty is a way of trust, and by breaking it, you aren't showing much patriotism. Now are you? Defining the word patriot is more than looking up a word in a dictionary. These citizens of our nations bring that word to life with the actions of supporting, serving, and being loyal to their country can be devotion to their country. And in many ways, this devotion can define a true patriot. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. These 31 words are so important to every one of us. They hold an unforgettable history, and an ongoing question about them is, should we continue saying them? What do you think? Good morning, parents, judges, and fellow contestants. My name is Elena Tarian. When you say the Pledge of Allegiance, you're normally at school, a scout meeting, a ball game, or maybe even a graveyard ceremony for a beloved veteran. But do you really know what you're symbolizing? You are not only showing love to your country and veterans, but you are also resembling patriotism. Now, every time you stand there with your hand over your heart, facing the American flag or not, you remind yourself of everything you are doing at that very second. It has only been 76 years since Congress formally adopted the Pledge of Allegiance. It was first written by Francis Bellamy. It was first published in 1892. It wasn't until 1923 that the words, "the flag of the United States of America," were added. It was exactly 31 years later that Congress was encouraged to add the words, "under God." This completed the 31-word pledge we say today. Seeing everything the Pledge of Allegiance holds has opened my eyes and hopefully yours as well. The patriotism it shows, importance it holds, where it came from, and how it affects us daily has made me fully believe we should continue saying it. Even though I believe this, in no way means you have to. It doesn't matter what I believe, what others believe, or what others do. You do what you need. Now, do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Are you still unsure? If that is the case, ask yourself these 3 questions. Do I want to continue showing love to my country and veterans every day? Do I want to continue resembling patriotism on a daily basis? And should I continue saying the Pledge of Allegiance? If your answer is yes, you make the move. and you continue saying it. In conclusion, the 31-word Pledge of Allegiance is so important. It holds an unforgettable history, and an ongoing question is, should we continue saying them? Are you going to? Are you going to take close to 45 seconds out of your daily life to say the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you.
Racism. Racism is taught in our society. It is not automatic. It is learned toward persons with dissimilar physical characteristics. Alex Haley. The dictionary defines racism as a prejudice discrimination against persons with dissimilar physical characteristics. Race based on a belief that one's own race is superior. Racism is learned toward persons that may be keeping us divided as a nation. As children, we should learn how we are the same as others, instead of seeing our different backgrounds and cultures. But we are all Americans. It is important to embrace our culture and to learn and appreciate the differences we do have, because what makes America great is all the different people that live here, and the people that come here every single day to make a better life for themselves. Back in the 1800s, men treated African Americans like property. The men were violent. According to Study.com, they deprived them of food and water and took their freedoms. President Lincoln disagreed with the slavery, so he freed them. And even after the Civil War was over, they were still getting disrespected. African Americans were not the only race that are being discriminated against. According to A Brief History of Racism in the United States, when Europeans first arrived, they forced the Native Americans to be like them and made them change their religion and culture. Children are made to go to residential schools and to learn the European ways. There is still much work to do in America. To make everyone feel welcome, for example, I propose having a Culture Appreciation Day where we give everyone the opportunity to teach about their culture. I'm sure we will find more in common than different. Thank you.
American short story writer Cynthia Ozick once said, "We often take for granted the very things that deserve our gratitude. What is something that really deserves our gratitude?" Our American military. Men and women that exemplify sacrifice and whose valiant actions are beyond imaginable. Men and women like my dad, Senior Master Sergeant Brian Sudcamp. In fact, to me, the greatest civic duty we have today is to show appreciation for our military. I believe military members are doing civic duty. So why don't we do civic duty for them? If we support our military, they may be more inclined to be our heroes because we are serving them. Also, their love for our country may grow because they know we love them. There are close to 1.3 million military members, and they deserve and need our support. I recently interviewed my dad and his commanding officer, Captain Jason Barron, who are currently serving on a long-term overseas deployment. They both have told me it gives hope to military members when we support them. My father said, many members want to blend in, but appreciate the small thank you without large recognition. Imagine being several thousand miles from everything you know and love. You would naturally be wanting a little taste of home and feel safe. We could solve this problem with sending care packages. These little bits of home might make military members feel safer. From my interviews, I learned that military members would feel safer knowing that their families are provided for. We could also petition Congress to not shut the government down, just like they recently did when they're debating about DACA. A government shutdown often freezes military pay and benefits, making it nearly impossible for a deployer to provide for the family. At the time I was writing this speech, families were suffering because the government was shut down. How do you think that makes the person deployed feel, especially if they're the sole provider? You like to know you're valued, right? Well, military members have the same feelings. We can help military members know we value them, but to congratulate them on a promotion or retirement, and there are so many other ways too. We could also ask the government to ensure the deployed military have access to excellent communication systems because they're very expensive. According to Internet Blog of Lausanne and my family's personal experiences, military members get deployed to places where there is little or no Wi-Fi. so they must either buy a mobile Wi-Fi hotspot or choose to talk to family through choppy, pixely connections. That is not fair to the people who are risking their lives for our country. After all of that information, I hope you agree with me that our greatest civic duty is to show appreciation for our military. As I have said, I believe that military members need support, to know they are safe, to feel valued. I know that my dad and Captain Barron are not listening, but let's pretend they are. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you, Captain Barron.
Good morning, parents, judges, and fellow contestants. My name is Avery Johnson, and I'm going to tell you why we should continue to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Should we continue to say the Pledge of Allegiance? Is it significant? That is the question. When I recite the Pledge of Allegiance, it means so much more than just words to me. It means respect, risk, and heroicness. To say I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, I am promising to be courageous, to stand with my country. Many people don't say the pledge because the process is just what it's described as, a pledge. Today, only half of the 50 states require you to say the pledge. Certain states have you expelled if you don't say the pledge. American school children first recited the Pledge of Allegiance on October 12, 1892 to mark Columbus Day and the 400th anniversary of it. The Pledge of Allegiance was published on September 8, 1892 by Francis Bellamy. Bellamy had hoped that the Pledge of Allegiance would be used by citizens in any country. It wasn't until 1945 that the Pledge of Allegiance was adopted by Congress. In 1954, Congress was urged to legislate under God and the pledge by one of our presidents, Dwight D. Eisenhower. The Pledge of Allegiance is still said in schools to instill a sense of patriotism among students. It doesn't matter which way you put it, free means the same thing. Many men and women drop everything to go to war for this country. Those people leave their families to fight for our freedom. As of January 31st, 2016, there are close to 1.4 million people in the armed forces, 1 million police officers, and 1 million firefighters in our country. These people all have professions that put them at a risk, which they all brave daily. They selflessly serve our country to protect us and defend our rights. The Pledge of Allegiance respects those fighting for us. So when you don't stand for the pledge, you're not respecting our country's greatest people, our heroes. By saying the Pledge of Allegiance, we are respecting our heroes. So to answer my question from the beginning, yes. Yes, we should continue to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, to respect our country and its heroes. And yes, the pledge is significant. Thank you for your time.
.46% of homeless youth have escaped their home where they suffered abuse. Ebony Merrill was abused by her alcoholic mother, which led to being kicked out at only the age of 11, the same age I am right now. Welcome parents, judges, teachers, and fellow contestants. My name is Zoe Wilhelm. America's greatest civic responsibility is to care for our most vulnerable people. We need to help our foster care system, determine how to build safe sleeping shelters, and help those who are abused that need safety spots where they can build a better future. In these ways, we can make America an even more extraordinary country. Do you know the proverb that states, you can give someone a fish and feed them for the night, or you can teach someone how to fish and feed them for their life? Rita Zahara once said, one of the greatest things you can do to help others is not just to share and give what you have, but to help them discover what they have within themselves to help themselves. CAS, Central Arizona Shelter Services, is an organization that I believe in. You can donate to the shelter, but instead of just helping for the night, this organization helps people get jobs, be reunited with families, and offers counseling. Responsibility. To look after another. Isn't that our job as Americans? I am called to help the poor, the hungry, the thirsty, the hurting, the broken. In time, the bruises will go away, but the pain will forever remain. In America, more than 4 children die from abuse and neglect on a daily basis. 68% of children are abused by someone related to them in their families. This is a story of a foster mom named Carol Donald that changed many kids' lives. She had a love and passion for children, so when her kids were grown, she decided to become a foster parent. And she ended up taking 100 children into her home. All children deserve a childhood. Selfless acts like Carol Donald are what make America great. Katharine Hepburn once said, "Kindness is one of the greatest gifts you can bestow upon another. If someone is in need, lend a helping hand. Do not wait for a thank you." True kindness is something that lies within the act of giving without expectation of something in return. In the U.S., 397,122 children live without permanent families in the foster care system. 101,666 of these children are able to be adopted now. But nearly 32% of these children will wait 3 years or more in the foster care before able to be adopted by a family. One way you can help is to donate your time, become a court-appointed special advocate, or become a Valley Big Brother or sister. Get involved. Kindness should become the natural way of life, not the exception. Helping our foster care system determine how to build safe sleeping shelters and helping those who are abused that need safety spots where they can build a better future are just a few ways we can make America an even more extraordinary country. One random act of kindness could be the difference between life and death. I will stand for the needy and give a helping hand when the opportunity presents itself. Believe in others and you can do the same. God bless America.
America, the land of the free, the home of the brave, the place where people go to build a family, get a job, raise children, and most importantly, for freedom. These are just some reasons why I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud that my country provides these things for people and so much more. But are you proud to be an American? Truly proud? If your answer is no or kinda, I'm here to change that into a yes, I'm proud. Good morning, judges, fellow contestants, parents, and guests. My name is Craig Barrett. Our military and our law enforcement. These are two of the biggest reasons why I'm proud to be an American. These brave men and women put their lives on the line each and every day to protect you and I. They risk their life and limbs to protect you and I. And guess what? We didn't do a single thing to deserve it. So the next time you see a veteran or a law enforcement officer, tell them thank you for protecting you and your freedom. There are also regular people, like you and me, who are volunteers or just good people in our community who provide food, water, and shelter for homeless people. Or after the attacks of 9/11, thousands of good men and women went to go help with the cleanup and save the lives of others after that devastating attack. Or more recently, when the hurricanes hit Houston, the Cajun Navy appeared. What's the Cajun Navy, you ask? The Cajun Navy is a group of volunteer boat owners in Louisiana who usually help out with floods and hurricanes in their own state, but they rode their boats on their own time to go save the lives of others from their flooded homes and flooded streets. Freedom. The freedoms that you and I have that billions don't. These freedoms, like our freedom of speech, our freedom to say what we want and speak our minds, or our freedom of religion, our freedom to believe what we want to believe in, or our right to bear arms, our right to protect ourselves and our families if need be. These are just a small bit of our freedoms, but so many people take them for granted. So fellow Americans, I leave you with this. The next time you say the Pledge of Allegiance at school, or sing the national anthem during a football game, think about these things. Our moms, our dads, our grandmas, our grandpas, our brothers, our sisters, who sacrificed to protect the freedoms we all enjoy. Standing for our flag is a way for all of us, black, white, Hispanic, young, old, Christian, Muslim, or any other group of American to come together as one America and say thank you to those who have given us so much. And be proud. Be proud to be an American. Thank you.
We still believe in the America that is a land of opportunity and a beacon of freedom. We believe in the America that challenges each of us to be better and bigger than ourselves. Mitt Romney, 2012. I know this quote is true because I have seen it happen in my family. My grandpa's life was different than mine. When he was a kid, he lived in a clay house called a hogan that was very small. He slept on a dirt floor with a stove in the middle to keep warm. For their door, they used a blanket. As a boy, he had to do chores such as working in the field and orchard, herding sheep, and even chopping wood. My grandpa's toys were sticks and cans. He also went to a boarding school far away from his mom and dad, but he worked hard in school and even went to college. Even though he was not able to finish college, he was able to get a good job. My grandpa worked hard to provide a better life for his kids. My mom and her siblings all went to college and grew up being able to do sports, live in a house, have food, and not have to focus on the basic needs every day. Because I live in America, my grandpa's example and hard work can be continued through me. I've been to the place my grandpa grew up. I've learned that it's not where you come from or who people think you are. This country gives everyone opportunities to succeed if only you are willing to try. I am grateful for my grandpa's hard work, and am grateful I live in a country that provides equal opportunities for rich and poor, men and women, black and white, and young and old. Rosie the Riveter from the We Can Do It poster during World War II is a role model of personal best when it comes to hard work. During a time when men were all at war, the U.S. needed more workers for making the machines and equipment used in the war. Even though it was not normal for women to work in machine factories, Naomi Parker, Rosie the Riveter, filled a need and inspired a whole nation of women to go out and serve their nation by working hard. Today, I have my own goals of going to college and becoming a business person. I know these dreams are possible because I live in this country. I am proud to be an American because of the opportunities America provides. Thank you.
Since the days of ancient Greece and Rome, when the word citizen was a title of honor, we have often seen more emphasis put on the rights of citizenship than on its responsibilities. This quote by Robert Kennedy shows a trend that is occurring in our society today. It seems as though Americans are more me, instead of we. This is a mindset that only the American people can change. Hello, judges, special guests, and my fellow contestants. My name is Ryan Repak, and I'm here to tell you what are our most important responsibilities as citizens. To me, the word responsible means to take care of yourself, your belongings, and to take care of others' needs. This translates to citizenship by involving yourself in our government. How can a citizen participate in our government? Citizens can participate by voting in elections, paying taxes to keep our country running, obeying the laws, serving in the military, and supporting the Constitution. In addition, one can run for office. These are all obvious responsibilities of a good citizen. But the real challenge is to go above and beyond what is obvious. Eli Pariser, an internet activist, said, to be a good citizen, you have to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes and see the big picture. If everything you see is rooted into your own identity, this becomes difficult or impossible. I believe that in our country, we need to see other people's viewpoints and not be closed-minded. We as Americans need to ensure that everyone's voice is heard, whether we agree with it or not. This was the true goal of our founding fathers, and it is protected under the First Amendment. This is the true responsibility of an American citizen. The Greek philosopher Aristotle said it best. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. I believe that this was the goal of our forefathers. All Americans should be able to achieve their dreams, and it is our responsibility to help each other. Thank you.